Hey, all, we're going to get started in just a minute here, so stay tuned. All right, we're going to get started in just a second here. And we're going to have people popping in and out right now. And again, you can always go on into our email that we sent you and join in on our Zoom on the backstage and ask a question. So we're always happy to take questions there. So we will get started 10 seconds, promise. All right. Hello, everybody. This is Derek with Pilot City. And we've been hosting these PilotCity TV sessions for the last 3 weeks as an attempt to get our schools, our teachers, our students, our employers, our communities up to date. And today we're going to be demonstrating some examples of activities that your students will be creating solutions for, participating in, creating deliverables for, so that the employers have a effective understanding of your students' ideas, or if you are a student, to know what your actual project is. And then we'll share some more employers. And we're also happy to have everyone ask questions so we can answer them towards the end of the session. So we'll just do a little bit of snapshots on the employers on this that we have available from here on. So, and then we'll also share a little bit about our digital hackathon, very high level on that as well. So let's get started here. I'm going to share my screen. Actually here, give me just one moment. All right, great. So what you should be seeing, okay, hold on. Let me try this one more time. That should be right. Great. All right. So what you should be seeing is a module called Ideate. This is a activity example that your students, or if you are a student, that you'd be developing for your employer that you choose to build a project for. So to give everyone a synopsis of our program, what we do is we partner with employers, we scope out projects, and then students have an opportunity to build projects for these employers to win internships. So what you do is you explore these employers, choose one, use a token provided by your school or by your parent or by someone who gives you access, and then you choose a program, and then you're automatically launched into our program, where you then go through a series of activities and deliverables that you would complete to automatically apply for an internship, get an interview, get an offer, and go into a full-blown internship. So this is a series of modules. It's not necessarily in order per se, and it's just a snapshot and a glimpse into some examples of activities that you'll be doing. So Ideate essentially is like a light business model canvas, and it's to essentially identify the problem of the project that you're developing for the employer, and creating like a one tweet, what's the hair on fire problem of the opportunity you're solving for your employer. What's the solution? What's the bright idea you have as a solution? Create a statement on that. Create a innovation statement or innovation kind of initiative for it. What's the unique value of your idea? What's different about your project versus other people's projects? This is all kind of in line with the types of, we want students to think differently about their projects and to create solutions in the world that don't exist just yet. And then lastly, identify the user or the customer and saving those drafts, making to a final draft. So this is an example, 4 input fields that you solve. We try to make it dead simple for students to be part of our program and to achieve what you need to achieve. Next one, let's look at pitches. So you'd be developing a 1-sentence pitch and an elevator pitch. So we want you to effectively communicate your projects and ideas as a student to the employer. So what's your one-liner? What's it all about? What's the verbal pitch? If you were to walk into an elevator with an employer and actually talk about your project, what do you want them to know? And why should they take a meeting with you to talk more? Saving those drafts, make that into a final draft. Practice. So we want you to essentially record how much time you're spending on the actual project. It's important for us to know, to understand that you're actually spending time on it, and how much time you spent on it, and how much you were able to produce from that. So we want you to log your minutes that you spend on the actual project, and essentially you can see your own logs, your team's log, and so forth. Forum is a peer-to-peer community forum where you can answer questions. You can answer questions, but you can also ask questions. And then people in the student community can upvote initiatives. So these are really stupid answers for the most part, but you get the point. You can ask questions, you can upvote them, you can answer questions, and then employers can also come in here and actually answer questions too. So you have interactivity with them. The next one here essentially is a design and prototype log. So it's a way for you to take a screenshot of your milestones and then log it and put a little description of what it is. And then you would log it, and then you can see your own logs of your process as in your design and prototype stages, and also your teams. And this allows for greater understanding of the process by the employer that you've taken to actually complete the project. So design a prototype log. And the last two that I'll show you is demonstration in the Auto app. So you would create a video demonstrating your prototype, and then you would upload it on YouTube and insert the link here and then verify that YouTube link. And then you can show it to the employer once they've seen and reviewed your application. And lastly is the auto application. So again, as we promised and what we did last year, what we're going to do this year is you don't need to apply for the internship. You just have to build your project, and your project becomes the internship. So you would automatically apply by reviewing all the activities that you completed. And then once you've reviewed it, you can auto apply or opt out. So that is a demonstration of our our activities and deliverables that you would actually do in the actual program. So this should make much more sense now for the schools, the teachers, and for the students who are watching, so that you can actually have an understanding of what the program is. Now, let's talk about the digital hackathon. So at the end of February, we're going to be launching our program, and it's February 26th. And students will have the opportunity to participate in a weekend digital hackathon to kickstart their projects. Now, what's exciting about this is because we actually did this last year at the end of the program on, I think, around May 23rd. And it was called Pilot City Airtime, and it was a weekend digital hackathon where 180 students registered from all a variety of classrooms and all a variety of stages in their program. And they may have started the project, they may have gotten close to finishing the project, they may have finished the project ready and want to start another project, or they wanted to come to accelerate their project to get closer to actually finishing. So there's a variety of reasons why someone would join our digital hackathon, but for this one, it's actually to launch our program. So at the end of February, February 26th to February 28th, we'll be hosting a digital hackathon over the weekend where all you students and students inside classrooms in your teacher's classroom, or if you're a teacher, your classroom, your students can join a digital hackathon and learn more about our programs and employers that are launched at that moment, and then choose one, and then start building projects for those employers throughout a 24 to 36 hour time frame. And that should be a fun time because our digital hackathon last year was really intensive, really interesting. And we had workshops, we had employers come in as mentors, we had students helping each other, we had discord.com voice channels for trying to drop in mentorship. We've had just a variety of different areas that we were able to essentially cover to get the students kicked off and finishing their projects last year. And so this year, same thing. And it's going to be a great acceleration towards starting the project and getting it going and running. You could even take the extent of actually starting the project there and actually ending it during that weekend as well. So that's definitely another option. But we encourage you to spend more time on the projects as we go. So for the last 4 minutes, I'm going to be sharing our latest employers that we have. And this sheet here is completely free for people to join, and you find it at www.bit.ly/PilotCity RFPs 2021. So if you go to bit.ly/PilotCity RFPs 2021, you should see the live list of employers that we have in our program now. So where we left off was Vice Mayor Victor Aguilar. So I'm going to share about a few more. We had Seed actually part of it too. And then we also, I think we'll land on Typeform. So let's do overlap. So for Typeform is a global company that creates surveys and forms. And they have a new tool called Video Ask. So they want students to transform the way your favorite local businesses interact with their customers in a post-pandemic society by utilizing Video Ask to prototype face-to-face video experiences. And Video Ask is a tool where you can create a form basically in the form of a video. And so this is a quick demonstration of how it works right on the site here. So you got this question that you're asking, and then the person you send the video form to can answer that question in the form of a video as well. And then they record that. The person who was asking the question can essentially watch it, and then you can go into the next question. So this is tentatively the project that Typeform has in our program. The next one is actually my cousin, Dr. Curry Lee. He was the former anesthesiologist for the Raiders, and his project is to prototype a predictive analytics scoring model utilizing AWS sports data for common high-profile sports injuries that health professionals can use to evaluate plays before injuries occur. Now, I don't watch sports, okay? It's a little surprising, but I'm a tall guy that has a waist to height, essentially. But from my understanding, there's some players that are high value out there, and if they, lose an Achilles, a function of Achilles, they're not going to be able to make money for the actual sports team or actually play and get people jazzed and excited. So creating a model that allows for players to sports teams to be evaluated based on their capabilities and whether they may have a likelihood of injury would be important. So this project is a coding project to create a predictive analytics scoring model for sports teams to analyze their players and whether plays are safe or not to actually execute on. City of East Palo Alto is asking students to prototype digital programs, workshops, and resources for East Palo Alto organizations, businesses, and entrepreneurs for economic development, resiliency, and digital transformation. So essentially what that means is the chamber, there is no Chamber of Commerce in East Palo Alto, so there's no real support for businesses in East Palo Alto. And so City of East Palo Alto would like to ask students to create solutions and programs and workshops and resources for EPA organizations to actually advance and actually be supported during the pandemic, supported in general on their entrepreneurial endeavors. Mayor Pauline Cutter with City of San Leandro as an employer in our program. Hers is to create a next generation communications platform for the Mayor of San Leandro to effectively announce, update, and discuss the variety of key topics of interest to the constituents of the city. Now, this is defining a bit more, so we'll get to that in fairly soon of this update of the actual scope. But essentially, there's a lot of constituents looking to get in hold of elected officials like Mayor Pauline Cutter. And there needs to be more effective communication systems between the constituents and the mayor so that they can actually communicate in a way where she can respond and then also scale her answers to other people who have the same questions. So we were discussing using Video Ask actually as a tool for her to actually use to engage with constituents in her city. So that is a short glimpse, and there should be some updates on this very soon. So I would do two more. Cognition is to experiment, strategize, and pilot a go-to market plan for Speak Pros, a mobile app augmenting human conversation for those with communication disabilities at your school, city, or region. So Cognition essentially has an app called Speak Pros where you can actually interact and create symbols on an app and then communicate what you want to communicate to the people you're talking to without the ability to talk. And this tool I've had the pleasure to see in person, and essentially it allows for capabilities for those who have communication disabilities to talk to those who don't have that unfortunate kind of aspect in their life at that moment. So we're excited about this one because it's a social impact project and has a lot of capabilities. Last one I'm going to share for today is Notes for Notes. It's to produce, host, and promote a podcast series on a topic of passionate interest to you, your guests, and audience through live or recorded conversations, performance, and journalism. So essentially, we want students to start a podcast. You know, you must be interested in something enough to talk about it and perform or report on it, as well as talk to guests who may have similar interests with you on it and actually bring them as guests. So, and what we really want to do here is build a culture, build a community, build a community of influencers and interested people who are passionate about topics and are able to actually go into long form communications about it or long form kind of performances on it. We're very excited about this. This is a nonprofit organization in San Francisco that supports students in sound engineering. So this specific project is exciting because it opens up the possibility for students to actually start their own podcast conversations and YouTube channel or Spotify account, or, you know, it gets them out there actually creating new material and it's a content development project. So thank you all so much for listening in on our conversation today. I will check if there are any particular questions that people have in the YouTube right now. And if you do have a question, do hop on to the Zoom webinar and the email that you just received, and I'm happy to answer it live. I need a moment to get onto the YouTube to see if there are any questions. All right, we got Noah McLean in the house, our team member who's been doing content production, and we're excited about having him on the team. So shout out to Noah. And we don't see any particular questions now. So what we'd encourage is for everybody here who is listening to email me, Derek Lee at pilotcity.com, DERICKLEE at pilotcity.com. And shoot us an email if you're a school, shoot us an email if you're a teacher, shoot us an email if you're a student, and say, hey, we're interested in your program. Let's talk. We can schedule a 15-minute meeting, a quick conversation on the phone. We can schedule a Zoom. We're very interested in talking to you if you're a school right now interested in joining our program. So talk to you all next week. We're going to be entering the start of our externships with our teachers and student job shadows on February 1st. So do look out, and talk to you all very soon. Take care.